with the Shinyan practices and methods in the past year, there's a possibility that you have gained some taming of the mind and some stability of the mind that even if it is not continuous and repeated experience, that there are changes, sometimes better, sometimes worse, but nevertheless that you begin to notice that there is some change that has taken place in terms of greater stability of mind and the greater calmness of mind, and as a result of having worked with the Shinyan practice, so there is that possibility. So the practice of the Shinyan meditation, it is possible that one has earned some experiences in the way of greater mental well-being and greater mental clarity and stability and sense of openness or spaciousness. As a result of these experiences, no matter how little the experience or the development might be, but compared to those who are not exposed to meditation practice at all, who have not trained in taming their mind, the experiences as a result of our practice in the way of these developments of calmer mind, clearer mind, and so forth, which I would think that is a source of much benefit for one. It's a source of much well-being for one compared to those who do not have the benefit of such experiences at all. While we might have the benefit of the experiences mentioned, nevertheless, with regard to having an understanding into the essential nature of mind, whether the mind has any kind of self-entity to it, or it lacks any kind of form of self-entity altogether, and what really does it mean to know and to recognize the nature of the mind in such areas we might not be still very clear or vague on it. And in this regard, the Lakshmi instruction is pointed out, the Lakshmi instruction or the instruction on the superior insight. Through the Shinyan practice, we could experience greater calming or taming of mind, and therefore bringing about diminishing or decreasing the thoughts of distraction. But the Shinyan meditation cannot bring about the uprooting of thoughts of distraction altogether. It is therefore the function of the purpose of the Hakam meditation to bring about even uprooting the very basis of the thoughts of distraction, and it is through the uprooting of the very foundation of the thoughts of destruction altogether is bring rise to the wisdom of the Hakam insight, and which is then affecting the complete liberation from the confusion and sufferings of samsara.
Il existe d'autres termes qui sont équivalents à la compréhension supérieure. Par exemple, on peut parler de perfection de connaissance ou Vajrayana en sanskrit, c'est synonyme de l'atome, c'est pareil. On peut parler de mère de Buddha enfant, et bien encore de grande mère. Quand on parle de la perfection de connaissance, ça veut dire que cette vision supérieure, c'est la connaissance qui va jusqu'au bout, la connaissance ultime, la connaissance qui est supérieure à toute autre connaissance. Quand on parle de quand on dit la grande mère, ça veut dire que cette vision supérieure est la source des accomplissements, que ce soit dans les réalisations du petit véhicule, les accomplissements ce qu'on appelle les auditeurs, ou bien les Bouddhas solitaires, bien encore dans le véhicule les accomplissements des bodhisattvas. Et quand on dit la mère des vainqueurs des 30 ans, ça veut dire que c'est par cette connaissance que les Bouddhas du passé, du présent et de l'avenir ont pu effectivement réaliser les Amitabha. Ce sont différentes dénominations pour une même réalité.
Hakam experience of superior insight is expressed by various other terms. Apart from Hakam, it is referred by the term the perfection of wisdom, or prajna paramita, and which is having gained developed complete wisdom or ultimate wisdom, referred to by the term the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, as well as referred by the term the Great Mother. And Great Mother in the sense that Arhats, Bodhisattvas, Buddhas all realized perfect Buddhahood through having gained Hakam insight, or gained complete insight in the nature of mind, and therefore that it is being the source of origin or the source of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Arhat, therefore referred to as Great Mother from the point of view of source, and also referred to as the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, be it Buddhas of the past, or of the present, or the Buddhas to be of the future, that it is through having gained the realization of superior insight, or the Hakam insight, and resulting in the experience of complete Buddhahood. So it is a source of or origin of the Buddhas of the three times. There are two manners or ways in which the Rattam instruction is being pointed out. One is from the point of the Sutra tradition or an analytical approach, from the point of the analytical and philosophical approach as far as how external things exist and so forth from an external analytical point of view. And the other approach is from, again, the Tantra, an internal approach from the point of view of Mahamudra, an internal approach that is internal or practical approach in connection with the very nature and experience of the mind. The instruction is pointed out. So there are these two manners, two ways. When the instruction is, the approaches the external, the analytical approach on the basis of objective phenomena, then initially it is easier to comprehend, understand the Rattam point of view, since one is analyzing analyzing external phenomena, but it is a more indirect approach in terms of insight and realization, because this intellectual and analytical understanding that one has, now one has to bring it to one's mind and to integrate it experientially. On the other hand, the practical approach, the internal approach of giving the instruction, or pointing out, directly in connection with the mind, it is initially somewhat more difficult to understand, to gain an understanding or recognition into. But once there is the understanding, then it is a more direct approach in terms of the realization, and therefore it is a much more beneficial approach. In order to gain understanding and insight of Bhakti, based on the analytical approach of the external phenomena, the main focus is on gaining knowledge through study and through understanding. And if one is to follow the internal approach or practical approach of working more directly with mind, then towards gaining the Bhakti insight, the focus, the principal focus should be on the method and on integrating the method for purification of defilement, accumulation of merit, and appreciating the importance of the blessing of Guru and one's own practice of meditation. Now in following the internal, in our case, following the internal approach of working closely with the mind, then, as which is mentioned, the role of blessing playing an important part. So at this point, one should maintain the visualization of the attitude that in front of oneself is one's root Lama in the form of the great master, Milarepa, and whose appearance or form we are familiar with through the pictures and scrolls, and being the embodiment of the masters of the lineage, and supplicating to Milarepa to grant you the blessings and inspiration so that one might gain the wisdom or Bhakti insight, and also with the confidence that Milarepa being the Guru and embodiment of enlightened mind, possessing the qualities of benevolence or compassion, wisdom, and the profound abilities to benefiting beings, and requesting to confer upon one the blessings. So with that attitude, we will repeat the devotional line, Chemana Shepa Purjala Savadapso. Having genuinely supplicated this way, one should now visualize that from the Milarepa's three centers, the fourth center, white light, 12th center, red and heart, blue, rays emanating, penetrating into one's corresponding centers, receiving the body, speech and mind empowerment and blessings of Guru Milarepa, purifying the negativities of one's body, speech and mind. Further thing to visualize, the Milarepa most joyfully dissolves, melts into light, or dissolves into light, and enters into yourself through your crown. In this way, Milarepa's body, speech and mind and your body, speech and mind become totally inseparable in that state of inseparability, and without any effort to bless the mind. In the practice, there is the need for a foundation of stability of mind, the context of the atmosphere of calm and stable mind. And with the stability present, then within the stability there is the need for a slight mindfulness or observation. And this slight observation is what seems to be the very nature of this stability, that one is the stability of mind that one is experiencing. And does it exist? If it does, where does it exist? Externally, external to one's body. Internally, if internally, where within one's body does it have a place of existence? Is it dwelling or staying? So, within that stability of mind, there is a need for a slight observation of the existence of this stability.
Il y a une explication ou rien d'exemple. Je ne vois pas trop comment l'exemple s'applique à l'explication. Et finalement, on laisse l'exemple de côté. Donc, si vous voulez comprendre l'explication elle-même, ça c'est clair. Donc l'exemple, c'est qu'un exemple. Si l'exemple est quelque chose plus compliqué, c'est pas la peine. Donc il faut bien comprendre, c'est donc il faut avoir d'abord cette expérience de Chine, ce ressenti de Chine. Et à l'intérieur de ce ressenti de Chine, on ajoute cette observation, on prend la faculté d'observation pour voir ce qu'est cette expérience de Chine. S'il n'y a pas d'expérience de Chine, c'est comme s'il n'y avait rien à voir. Donc ça ne sert à rien de procéder à un examen, à observer, alors qu'on n'a rien à regarder que conscient. Et en même temps, si on est complètement pris dans l'expérience de Chine, on ne regarde pas non plus. Il faut les deux. Il faut avoir l'expérience de Chine et en même temps, cette observation qui regarde ce qu'il y a. Et si on n'a pas d'expérience de Chine, on n'a rien à perdre du tout, donc à ce moment-là, c'est pas possible. Est-ce que vous avez compris?
니가 저기에 좋아, 좋아,
On n'a pas beaucoup de temps, mais si vous voulez poser une question maintenant, c'est possible, les questions étant réservées aux personnes de deuxième année.
Right now we don't have much time, but those of you who are here, the second year, and only those who are here for the second year, if you have some very specific questions, please, you can ask.
how to manage to keep an eye out of business when trying to look, to examine this state of mind, how to avoid looking at it from an eye.
This is the point. This is a very important point. The point is, if there is the Shine experience happening, then there is no room for I to be observing. Only when there is no Shine experience taking place, then I could take it over.
Donc la question est comment peut-on procéder à cette observation tout en échappant à un moi. Et Rinpoche répond précisément, si on a l'expérience de chiner stable sans penser, à ce moment-là il n'y a pas de moi. C'est seulement si on est distrait qu'il y a un moi.
And I think the question is, if you were able to find where the Shine exists, where the Shine experience exists, and where do you go from there? And Rinpoche said, if you find that, then he will give you something else to observe.
그냥 사실 근데 뭐 방법을 때 가지면 이제 만원 때 제일은 가장 우월되고 가서 나중에 네가 되게 바로 말하는 이런 게 근데 이제 막 되게 무슨 일이야 되게 this those two are the same this what you are यहाँ से this 그냥 그러면 다들 또 수술은 안에 그냥 수술이 너무 많이 문제들이 너무 많이 그냥 직관에 가고 이러나 근데 바로 집에서 통합점이나 뭐 양변을 너무 많이 지키고 그냥 요새가 지키고 상관하고 연애들 가상하여 그런 중마서 그냥 내일을 상관이 일어나야 그냥
Few people who are here for the second year and a couple of people who are here for the third term of the third year had come to Rinpoche and asked if they could repeat the Shine for a second year, and all those who are here for the third year, if they could repeat the Lakton for another year. So Rinpoche wants to communicate to you that it mainly should depend on firstly your own personal experience, and then the circumstances of your life. Your own personal experience, in the sense that if your experience is that for the past year we go through the Shine practices and that it has been somewhat effective that you have experienced some development. Of course, not complete fulfillment, but at least some degree of experience, and then your feeling is that you want to move forward from the first to the second year. And then that's probably what you should do. On the other hand, if your first year's working with the Shinrin practice has not been that good, that effective, or that satisfactory for yourself, and you feel that it would be beneficial for you to repeat, and also that coming again for the second year and so forth, that there is a good possibility that you may be able to work something out so that you could come again. In that case, yes, it would be worthwhile also to repeat. And but if circumstances, you have some sense that the circumstances are difficult to come again and again, and then if you want to move further, at least you have received the instruction, so that given when you have time that you can practice, at least you have the instruction to practice if you cannot come back. So with these considerations, you can make decision mainly based on your own experience. meditation in the presence of Lama Milarepa in front of ourselves in the space, who is the very embodiment of the three jewels and all the lamas or the masters of the Mahamudra lineage, and with genuine heartfelt aspiration we request to grant us blessings so that we may have the realization of Mahamudra. With that attitude of request and devotion, we will do supplication prayer together. Mahamudra in this way from the three centers of forehead, throat and heart, white, red and blue light emanating, entering to one's three corresponding centers. In this way, receiving the body, speech and mind blessings of the Lama. So one should have this attitude. And now one will think, Lama Milarepa joyfully in the form of light enters or dissolves into oneself in this way. Lama Milarepa's body, speech and mind and one's own becoming inseparable and resting in the effortless natural state in this way for a moment. For those of you who have in the past year done the Shini practice, and which is to give you the outcome instruction into the superior insight. In order for Rinpoche to guide you, to instruct you effectively, you must know your understanding of your experience, your personal experience of your practice. So the way you are at this stage, the more clearly Rinpoche is able to know where you're at with your practice, in terms of with your development or drawbacks, the more effectively he will be able to point out the kind of instruction that would be most particularly beneficial for you. So towards that end, Rinpoche would like you, that is, those of you who are here for the second year, and comment on your personal experience of Shini prior to the difference, for instance, that you experienced prior to your doing the Shini practice, and since you have done the Shini practice, and your answers or comments should be personal and direct, without any kind of modification, trying to make it better or worse. Whatever is personally your experience, that would be the best. Is that prior to the practice of prior to beginning the practice of Shini, she was feeling alone, lonely, and now she doesn't feel it anymore. The change has been now in one's everyday life, whatever occurs, whether it's something particularly seemingly particularly good or bad, that one does not have very strong reactions either way. now when one is doing the Shinrin practice, even though there is still arising of various different thoughts of distractions, but they also at the same time disappear much faster.
I've noticed since I started doing the Shinrin that I feel a lot less helpless in my confusion or in my...
A lot less helpless?
A lot less of a... when I become neurotic and like confused, I feel less helpless and less at the mercy of it, you know?
It's a better understanding of what more there is for her to do before she could get to the point. Now in giving you the instruction, which I will point out two things. The first is, in Tibetan, mature means not to concoct, not to create. And then the second is Maying is not becoming distracted and not getting distracted. And so by these two, what do you understand? What, like when I say mature is basically without any conditioning. And what is your sense of it? What you get by it? And by Maying is don't be distracted simply. And what do you sense by it? To you, what is the difference between the two? In order to experience unconditional, then there seems to be the need for being at ease and being undistracted.
That was a response. Well, that was a participant's response.
One of the first comment was the mature or not to affect conditioning means whatever arises not to impede or not to obstruct it, and money is not to be, for instance, if when one is meditating, as sound takes place, sound occurs, and one doesn't get involved in the sound in terms of analyzing and following it. If one follows it, analyzes it, that would be becoming distracted, to the opposite of remaining undistracted. And the second comment is the second and third comments are similar in that not to affect conditioning is whatever arises and to be open to it, whatever arises to be open to it, and not to be distracted is not following whatever arises. Your comments regarding the difference between prior to starting Shinai practice and now having done the Shinai practice, and your comments in that regard, is seemingly on the track, and probably, even though a number of you have not made comments, probably you share similar experiences. And with regard to the two important points of Manchu is not to affect conditioning or fabrication, and then Maying is non-distracted, and your comments in this regard also seem to be pretty close to the points, and again Rinpoche feels probably all of you share similar experiences. And now once again Rinpoche is going to comment, explain on the 2 points. With regard to the experiences that you have in having done the Shinai practice, some of the comments that you have made, such as whatever is happening in one's life now, one attaches less importance, or one doesn't have too strong of a reaction, or that comment as there's less of sense of self-loneliness and more sense of openness. Or comments like there's a more sense of inward resourcefulness than totally dependent on external situations, so less helplessness. And these are directly connected with the benefit of the development, initial development in the Shinai experience. Generally, we have a very strong opinion that whatever in the way of cause of suffering or cause of happiness exists externally outside of ourselves, and we are therefore dependent on the external factors, and we attach tremendous importance to these external factors that we think we are dependent on to try to assure the experience of happiness and avoiding of suffering. But the reality of the situation is that the source of suffering is within our mind and the complexities of our mind, as well as the solution, how to resolve these sufferings are also existing within the mind. So with that understanding, it's important, with the great inspiration, to persevere more the practice of Shinin, and Lakung saw that these inner resourcefulness could become manifest more fully, and the limitations resolved. Two important points of Mahamudra, which is which is effortless or not affecting conditioning, and that is whatever arises in the name of positive thoughts or negative thoughts, that one doesn't try to change it. In that sense, not affecting conditioning or not exerting effort, not if negative thoughts arise, not trying to change them to something positive, and seeming a positive thought arise, not trying to enhance, intensify it, simply resting in the unaffected, effortless awareness of whatever arises, that is Majjapa. And when thoughts and emotions do arise, they go by without noticing, which is then one would be following these thoughts and becoming distracted. And so if one doesn't notice these thoughts, and therefore one is following them, that would be becoming distracted. And noticing the arising of thought is presence of non-distraction or undistractedness, Mahimpa. So it is pretty much in line with your comments, some of the comments that you have made in connection with the idea of Majjapa and Mahimpa. One further point which I would like to communicate to you is that when there is Majjapa, then one's experience free of the effort, for instance, the mind becoming too constricted, the freedom from becoming too constricted because it's effortless and without affecting any conditioning, and bringing freedom from constriction or rigidity. And when there is the presence of Mahimpa, which is non-distraction, then this prevents the possibility of relaxing into too much, and so becoming too casual. And so Majjapa prevents from being too rigid and formal, and Mahimpa helps from being too casual and therefore possibilities of being distracted. And the experience that should occur is free from these two, constriction or becoming too relaxed and too casual. Which helps that all of you have the correct experience of Shinin. There is not a lot of time to engage into discussions and listen to everyone's experience. He simply hopes that you have the correct experience. And to support your experience, Rinpoche would like to clarify what constitutes the correct experience of Shine. The correct experience of Shine in the practice of meditation should be the effortless, the staying of the mind, the effortless stability of the mind. And this effortless stability of the mind, if it has the qualities of dullness, sort of bleakness, then it is not properly correct. That this effortless stability must have also the quality of clarity and wakefulness about it. It contains the experience of clarity and wakefulness about it. So when there is, in your Shine experience, it is joining of effortless stability which has the quality of alertness or wakefulness and clarity, as the Shine experience when is compared to example bright sunshine, cloudless bright sun. So clarity and wakefulness, this should be the experience. If in your Shine experience these elements are present, stability and clarity, that is very good. If you don't have that experience presently, then there is no need, no reason for discouragement or disappointment that with gradual effort, gradual practice, or consistent practice, that such experiences should come about.
Shangpa yin sangpa zhōng yuwa rī sāng yu dāng rā jī khari yin jī xiā rī sāngpa xiā sā dē dē jī khā xī rī sāngpa lē bā khā nāng xiā rī sāngpa zhōng khā xī rī sāngpa yin rī nāng rī wā jī rā xiā rī sāngpa zhōng jī dē jī rā dā khā rī jī sāng jī jī xiā sī jī yuwa bā dā jī chō bā xiā rā nāng jī dāng rā wā xiā nē dē dī nāng wā dē bā dā 다시 랩값을 내요. 다 대화 화동대 다 다리 쳐봤대 가르잖아. 다 쌤내봤대 니어냐나래 라바는냐나 가와냐나요. 비내봤대 코랑 뭐 내봤대 뭐를 이제 가야 돼. 내봤대 가도 가고 셀고 마음으로 가야 돼. 이 가려져도 제 가려져도 뭐 대단한 만도 근데 다시 제일 뭐 대신할 괜찮아요. 요 말에 싸움이 되는 그런 거지. 이제 이렇게 정보 뭐 가리기가 다 가다 가와를 보면 그래서 가다 다 다리 저랑도 대모 가리기가 대 가도 가리기도 대다시지 근데 이 가려져도 근데 체 가려져도 됐었나 그게 저는 스타일이
quality of some have the notion that it is in the head, so resting there, and others have the notion it's in the heart, and now you allow it to rest where it belongs, in the heart. And so, in the event, there's the idea of that there's something you're allowing it to rest, placing it. And now what is particular in the Paton meditation is if there is something that you are allowing it to rest and remain in a state of stability, then in the past session we had together, in the previous session, which had asked you to, in your practice, to examine as to where it is, external to yourself or internally within yourself. And if it's internally within yourself, what is a specific point of location. And now, this time, what Rinpoche wants you to examine is, if there is something to rest or to rest with, then three things that you should examine. One is, what is the shape or form of this that exists? And second is, what is the color of this that exists? White, red, yellow, blue, green, what color it is. And third is what sort of measure, what size that it is, that in terms of volume, what it is. To examine this three. And it is extremely important that you actually examine and just don't simply give in to some kind of intellectual conclusion saying that it doesn't exist or something of that sort, and you have to find it out and examine it. Examine these 4 points that with which you are allowing to rest, if it exists, where it exists, locality, and the second, the color of that which exists, the various different colors mentioned, and the shape or form of that which exists, be it circular, square, or whatever other shapes, and the size. Is something huge or subtle, whatever it is. To examine this, and please do it diligently, work with the practice diligently, and whoever upon examination finds any of these, that it has any of this, that is the locality, form, shape, and color or size, whoever finds it, the Rinpoche wouldn't have any choice but to give his personal watch as award. Want to award the person, the finder, his own personal watch. So keeping the watch in mind, please be diligent.
Méditons un petit peu.
So we do a short meditation.